Kuburawo kweNvironment ndo kwatingati no benefita. Nokuti mukatarisa pano patiri, tarisai vakangochera vakasiya makomba akashama. Handiti makatarisa koso kumakadai. Ari muno anongo wa makomba.
This is not mining. Chikorokoza chirungoitika under the face of mining, but this is not proper mining. Chikorokoza.
Saka inini as far as I'm concerned, dai mining yacho yatombomira nekuti haina chairi kubatsira. Saka ikatombomira tombozoti zvicherwa zveduka zvitoripo pasi apa tichigadzirisa nyika.
Because kana zvisiri kubenefit anyone, ngavatozvimira hazvina musoro.
Vanotofanira kutomira kumaina.
Mining plays a pivotal role in the economic development of many countries. If done responsibly, mining can be a catalyst for social growth in developing nations as it offers employment and infrastructural development in communities. However, for Zimbabwe, this has not been the case, as mining now accounts for major environmental degradation and social regress. Mining extraction is the most destructive industry to the environment, as it accounts for major land degradation, air pollution, contamination of water bodies. Lack of accounting mechanisms in the mining industry has further catalyzed its negative effects on communities. It is critical for Zimbabwe to seriously erect accounting mechanisms for the mineral extraction industry.
So Publish What You Pay is a worldwide campaign for an open and accountable extractive industry. It is the only global movement working to ensure that revenues from oil, gas and mining are used to drive development. So the global network is made up of more than 1,000 member organizations and 51 national coalitions. So the network's strength lies in its ability to actually coordinate action nationally and globally, maximizing its collective impact, so that everyone benefits from their natural resources today and tomorrow. So Zimbabwe is a part of the Publish What You Pay global network, and it was established in 2011. And it has evolved actually to become a crucial campaign that pushes for transparency and accountability in the management of natural resources in the country.
The Publish What You Pay global movement is passionately organized to foster a culture of transparency and accountability in the mineral extractive sector in Zimbabwe. The aim of the movement is to ensure economic and social transformation of communities in the country by promoting transparency and accountability in natural resources governance for sustainable development.
So the coalition is focused on a Zimbabwe where all citizens actually benefit from their natural resources today and tomorrow. And it has a mission to build a strong campaign that promotes transparency and accountability in natural resources governance in Zimbabwe for sustainable development and the benefit of citizens. So the coalition currently has about 20 members running the campaign, and this comprise of community-based organizations representative of different minerals and in different provinces. These include 9 CBOs from coal, platinum, gold, chrome and diamond mining areas. And we also have about 11 members who operate at the national level with constituencies at the local level as well. So the members have a diverse expertise in carrying out sustainable interventions, dealing with extractive issues and issues affecting women and youth.
This, for us as a coalition, would not mean anything if it does not cause social and economic transformation for the people of Zimbabwe, but also for the mining host communities that are actually hosting these mining or extractive operations.
The public needs to be aware of how contract or how licenses or the decision making has been done, particularly in terms of the application processes, whether it has been done through competitive bidding processes or through direct bidding processes.
On the 30th of October 1888, Lobengula signed the RAD concession, which offered the British South Africa company exclusive mining rights in then Rhodesia. This became the first mining contract in the country through which all mining activities were premised. Whilst the terms of contract paved way for the swift colonization of the country, it provided terms of reference for mining in the country. Contracts and permits are critical elements in the mineral extraction industry, as they both safeguard the community, government, and mining companies by offering legally binding terms of reference. It is thus important to publicize these contracts so that communities and other stakeholders can understand the terms of contract of mining projects within their areas.
You'd find that mining companies sign contracts with with different government departments, but you'd find that those contracts are not publicized. And then you'd find a mining company goes into a community and starts to displace communities.
Access to information is a fundamental human right which establishes that everyone can access information from public institutions. This allows for citizens to request and receive information and obligates government to publish information. However, a huge information gap exists between communities and mining companies with regards to their operational contracts. This has made it hard for communities to benefit from or challenge irregular mining activities that happen in their areas.
Ruzivo rwokuti zvicherwa zvinomainwa seika senharaunda tinenge tisina. Nokuti mainvesta edu yanouya dai kuri kuti yanoshedzera nharaunda yese togarwa pasi totaurirwa zvavanenge vafambira avatauri tinozongoona vakumaina. Eze kansera ndikaenda kansel ndinobvunzawo kuti zvakamira sei. Kansera inenge ichitoti isu hatomboziwewo takangoona vanhu vachiuya nematsamba zvakaiswa kare zvidhindo isusu tongodhindawo sekanzo.
Historically, mining has been a major driving force for infrastructural development in Zimbabwe. However, the past 2 decades have seen the collapse of big mining companies and the sprouting of new players in the extractive industry. Very little or no infrastructure growth have been noted in the hands of these new players, yet they continue to make huge profits from various mining activities around Zimbabwe. Communities are left to bear the effects of land degradation, water and soil pollution, and climate change as a result of massive deforestation.
Isu takangorambira sokoti yokuno pamusika pandigereso kwaba betu kwaita wana chinu chakati. Saka mwi kuti ndibhude yopa indao yamunga ndipe ndikupi kuti ndinovaka kwakale. Pakati kwa au nunozobonera. Saka tikati yozo aya stota because imi ndakavaka maybe ndakavaka kangomba kangu imari yankhono yowana kupi futi yokubakisa. Pakati ipo unobona kokunda tikati aya astota.
Kana wakasvika vachiita vekuhurumende isusu tatouya titori nemepu yezvakati wandiite zvavanoita but vanenge vachifanira kuti gogogoi kuna headman kana kuti kwasabhuku kana kwani pazvese izvozvo havasitombozviita gogogoi wacho nekuti vanoti tiri kambani yehurumende here kana kuti hawazivi mutemo asi nokuti tinotomboziva kuti vanenge vauya sei kuzwawo kundoti badzi tatoya taakutomaina apa. Vamwe vacho vakaita semachina tinongovavona vodochera. Isu semayouth emucommunity tinenge tichidawo kuti tiingenjiwewo pavanotangidza kuti kuchera asi tinongozovona ivo vochera tisingazivi kuti process yacho inenge yafamba sei.
Macompanies aya anouya vomaina vosiya gomba risingavharike asi ndokunopa example yekwamutoko kuti kune grenade ranetsa pasocial media rakamainwa kwamutoko rikaenda kuDenmark rakavaka library rinotyisa zvikuru asi kuenda kwamutoko kune makomba ndiwo makomba anongoya nekwari nekuti isu nemutoko hatina kusiyana panyechi yekwari.
Kuburawo kweNvironment ndo kwatingati no benefita nokuti mukatarisa pano patiri tarisai vakangochera vakasiya makomba akashama handiti makatarisa kwose uku makadai ari muno anongova makomba nesora harichameri muno tinorarama nokupfuya mombe handi munoona which means apa pose hapachina sora remombe richamera so zvinoti affecta isu sevagari vomumhondongori
like sayoku kukatambe beta ilozeni beta red oxide mamuka ma-chemicals awo vakabe deposita murwizi of which ivura yendi yakabe tingaone ivura inokunga inda murwizi yakabe affecta ing'ombe zucherwa nesu vanhu ivura iji yakabe tekeka idust yendi yakabe ti affecta muzimiro which end up ikoza iflu.
Kuyenzakala konke khona kuyasala idust lemigwaqo isala ifilile yasala lilungisa kathi lizayenze njani na imigwaqo iwele usebenzisayo ngaze liyekele lizaphinde liwulungise ngoba yiwe sihamba ngawesibhedlela esihamba ngawezitolo nxa usufile lingawuyekela lizakuyanga.
Most mining companies are operating without disclosing critical documentation that is required for the protection of the environment. The environmental impact assessment is a legal requirement that allows for an assessment of the possible impacts that a proposed project may have on the environment. It demands for extractive projects to maintain and account for the environmental values in the communities they are operating in. However, in most areas in Zimbabwe where mining is taking place, mining companies are failing to disclose these documents, and rampant environmental degradation is going on unchallenged.
Pana transparency and accountability. Nokuti kumaina kwose kwavanoita vana zvavanokwanisa kujekesa kazhinji kudongowana vanhu vakudomaina. Inini samonita chinodoita kuti tizokwanisa kuvasvikira nayo kuti kugara takamira senharirire munharaunda zvokuti poga poga pavangodhumisa muchina tinokwanisa kusvika in time.
Document iri hatisati tatomboriona hawasati wauya wachitiratidza hatitoziye kuti makanyorwa kuti chii nekuti hawana kuuya wachizotiudzawo kuti zvakafamba sei.
Zvinhu zvinototinetsawo kuti totofungidzwa kuti maybe nemaproblem atiri kusangana nawo is because hapana chatinoziva maererano nemacontracts awo kuti akamira sei. Because pamwe tirongachitoti zvetongachirwisa pamwe tirorwise zvisiri izvo. Of which maybe pamwe contract yawo iri kutotaurawo something else.
Hatina kukwanisa kuwana mukana kuti tione EIA certificate. Takambouya tichida kuti tione asi hatina kubudirira. Havana kukwanisa kuti vatiburitsire vakatsaura kuti it's a private document yavo.
Information haisi yose inowanikwa. Nokuti mumakambani mukaenda uchikumbira dzimwe information dzinonzi information idzo dziri protected hadzingopuwi vanhu vese vese. Although tichiti access to information it's a basic right, but there are sometimes unokwanisa kusaccessa information iyoyo both from government and also from mining companies.
Takamboendesana kumakoti neveredhi mine tichida kuti vatiratidze document iroro rakaramba kubuda nanhasi zvakangomira dust vanhu vari kungotambudzika. Makomba environment yedu yemuno haisisina kumira zvakanaka. Last year but one apo pakafa mombe 8 nesaineti. Takaenda kuema ikauya hapana zvone. Isusu patikaenda kuema iye inobva toti toda kuti tisangane kuredhi mine. Mazviona isusu todzoka tauya kuno iye yotaura neredhi mine isusu tisiko yotodzoka. Isusu patinozoenda kuredhi mine tototi ema takapedzerana nayo.
When communities are unable to understand the nature of mining contracts within their areas, there is a lack of trust. If contracts are not published, the extractive sector becomes more vulnerable to corruption as there is lack of accountability. Without access to contractual documentation, communities are vulnerable to persecution for advocating for the protection of their environments.
Patakatanga kuengage mining company engine tichida kurequesta kuti vane ma-EIA processes here. Ndofunga engagement process yedu ya 2021 last year tichiengage nenyaya ye-EIA yakasvika pakuti headman wacho nema-communities anga aripo apesire vave vasungwa. So as we are talking now, engine haina EIA yainayo ba sekumaina kwavari kuita, so hatina kuyatsa kuudzwa kunzi kuuya kwavaita kana kuti kupinda kwakaita munzvimbo vakaengejani.
I think the issue of contract disclosure is very vital in two ways. One, from the company perspective, being very open, being very transparent in their affairs. But at the same time, there's also the other side, because companies work with different stakeholders. Those could be local communities, this could be government, this could be also tax authorities. So by being open in terms of the contract, it allows the mining company and their stakeholders to build trust. So as long as those disclosures on key issues are not made available, you'll find that there will always be distrust between local communities, even governments, and also the company. So by being very open, transparent, you also build trust. You also even build partnerships, because when there are challenges, these are the stakeholders companies need to go to and then partner on an effort. So for example, it could be that the taxes that the mining company would be charged are maybe very high. But if they are very open about it, it also allows other different stakeholders to take into consideration, because it's not only that mining companies contribute to sustainable development through taxes only, but they can contribute maybe through corporate social responsibility activities such as supporting education, clinics, drilling boreholes, and these are all costs that the mine actually take into account.
Subjecting contracts to public scrutiny is more likely to result in fair agreements and makes it easier for communities and government to monitor and regulate extractive projects. Contract disclosure helps build trust, promote open and transparent engagement, and contributes to the social, economic, and institutional development of host countries and their communities.
Isusu sevagari vemunharaunda tinotendawo kuti macompanies aya kana achiuya munharaunda medu vanofanira kutibatsirawo zvinhu zvakafanana neinfrastructure yedu, kuti patisingakwanisi isusu savagari vemunharaunda votibatsira. Tine mabridge, tine maroads anonga achida kutariswawo, uye zvakare muzvikoro medu umo mune zvinhu zvakawanda zvakasarira. Saka toti tichitarisira kuti kana vachinge vauya munharaunda dzedu vanonga vachitorawo zvicherwa votirangarirawo vachitibatsirawo kuita kuti isusu vagari vemunharaunda tinge tichizobenefitawo.
Government nevanhu vari mumacommunities tive neukama hwakanaka, because ndo vari kugadzira mapolicies, ndo vanopinda mumadeals panosainiwa macontracts nechichichi. Vakawa neukama hwakanaka vanenge vane people at heart. Mapolicies anoitwa anenge ari in favor of the communities, in favor of the affected people than in favor of macompanies anouya. Ipapapo government yedu ikakwanisa kuadapta kana EATI inotaura kuti transparency and accountability, zvinhu zvese zvinofanira kungoitwa pajekerere kutangira contract ichisainwa kusvika kucherwa kwemadiamonds kusvika pakutengeswa. I think in that way tinokwanisa kushanda zvakanaka, nekuti kune mamwe mapolicies ari even kuti titaure kuti diamond policy raitaurwa nezvaro, kuti tizive kuti rakatangira papi raperera papi, hatina feedback yakakwana, of which vanhu vanenge vari mugovernment they should have a closer relationship between isusu macommunities than the company, because I think like kunge vanhu vanenge vari kubribwa kuti vashande according to the company waita online nemapolicies unlike macommunities.
Munyika muno mune maresources but hamuna mutemo wekuchera and hamuna mutemo wekushare those resources kuti dzibenefite macommunities ari within nzvimbo iri kucherwa. Saka there is a need yemabinding laws anobatsira, 1 nyaya yekushare, 2 nyaya yetransparency and accountability, kuti pajekerere kana maini yangovhura zvingoziva kuti katika dosvikapo nasabhuku todovhunza kuti kumaterms amunawo makapuwa lisi here kana makapuwa chi, ko makanzi muiteiwo chimwe chamuri kuita kuno kuzviri mumagwaro enyu. Zvodongobuda pabani pachena kuti isu takanzi tigadzire zvibhorani, tivake zvikoro, tigadzire migwagwa, asi iye zvinogabva panapa kuenda pamaini. You can't access that information.
Mina mines 8 inofanira kuamendiwa zvinobatsira manharaunda. Totora dai mina mines 8 yakanatsa kurongeka chaizvo, migwagwa yedu yese nekuti tinozichiwa zvakawanda even makatarisa kuti iyo break grenade inombobuda zvakaita sei but marodzi edu akuwara namagonyeti akutaura mabreak grenade dai tino marodzi matard roads asada kuti complain nyaya yemarodzi aya vanzi tiri kupa mari kukanzu but wakatarisa kukanzu kwacho wakuti tinopa dola petani wakatarisa zidombo kukura kurenga rakaita nomari vanobhadhara kukanzu no madamages anokonzereswa nomining yacho unoona kuti hapana equivalence dzinenge dziripo.
We need to ensure that there is more scrutiny of information that is already there, and this really the turf of Zela and also parliamentarians when it comes to transparency on mining transparency issues.
If you look at the Mines and Minerals Act, Chapter 2105, it says the president holds these resources in trust. And if he does hold those in trust, why are the contracts that are negotiated not in the public domain? Because the people or the citizens, the communities, want to know how much has been negotiated, how are they going to benefit? And it is from such public disclosure that people know the agreements or the discussions and what was agreed with these investors. By being in the public domain, people get access to information. And if you go to our Constitution, Section 62, it does make that a requirement, provision of access to information. And by disclosing, this is one of the ways through which that provision is realized or is fulfilled or is implemented. When we call for transparency or a contract disclosure, it is not meant from a very selfish point of view for us as society organizations or as community-based organizations. It can actually benefit the organization. So it can actually benefit the country if there's contract transparency. So I think there's need for the government to see our advocacy for contract transparency from that point of view, that it does help the government itself understand its revenues better in terms of what it is generating. And we can also help the government in terms of holding these people accountable. So, for example, when they disclose, that's what we are now going to use in terms of monitoring. But in the absence of that information, we are also in a way disempowered. But if we are empowered as a society organization, we can actually help in terms of holding these investors accountable, because there are some things that the government may not be able to say, but the society organizations are able to say those things, and this will put pressure on these companies to do more in terms of fulfilling their obligations that they would have committed in terms of that contract. Thank you.
The Publish What You Pay campaign seeks to promote a culture of transparency in the extractive industry. The project is anchored on a vision where everyone benefits from their natural resources, and for mining companies and government to empower communities by giving them access to every contractual obligation entered into. Communities are primary custodians of their environments, and as such need adequate information on extractive projects within their areas.